Well, President Obama has pointed a finger squarely at Wall Street for initiating the financial crisis we've seen over the past few years, railing against, quote, fat cat CEOs. Here's just a sample.
Too often we've seen Wall Street firms violating major anti-fraud laws because the penalties are too weak and there's no price for being a repeat offender. No more. The financial crisis hit because the irresponsibility of some on Wall Street. A strong middle class can only exist in an economy where everyone plays by the same rules, from Wall Street to Main Street.
But we've heard little about the man in front of Congress today, Jon Corzine, former New Jersey senator, former New Jersey governor, and former CEO of a now bankrupt brokerage firm. More than $1 billion of investor money is missing from his firm, MF Global. And we've heard little or nothing from the administration. Is that the right call? Joining me now, Leslie Marshall, a syndicated radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor, and Lars Larson, a syndicated radio host as well. Lars, should the administration be commenting on this, since President Obama has been so vocal about condemning the fat cat Wall Street folks who take advantage of the laws and commit frauds and so on, in light of the close relationship that the president, the vice president, and others in the administration have had with Jon Corzine?
Megan, absolutely he should be, and he should do it to show that the fact that he described this guy as his partner in the White House, and then the man turns out to be the head of a company where $1 billion is missing, and Corzine is saying, I don't know where it is, I really didn't know how the company was operating. I mean, that kind of admission from a CEO. If anything, the president, to inspire confidence in the financial institutions of this country, should be talking about it to show that he's not playing political favorites. But this guy's a Democrat. It's hard to even find a mainstream news media report these days that mentions that he's a prominent Democrat and a prominent friend of the president. My prediction is the president won't say one word about Corzine, and that's just dead wrong, and it belies everything else that President Obama has been saying about bad dealing on Wall Street.
Leslie, do you think we would have heard from the White House on this in any way, through a surrogate, through Jay Carney, the spokesman, if Corzine had been a Republican?
I certainly would hope not, because regardless of their political affiliation, and Lars, I got to teach you a little thing called Google. You Google, you'll find Democrats being listed next to Corzine's name repeatedly. But right now, this is the first of 3 congressional hearings. You have two probes by the Securities and Exchange Commission. You have an investigation by the FBI and also by federal prosecutors. For the president to speak out at this time before probes and investigations are completed would not only be wrong, but could hinder any type of information or result that's obtained as a result of these investigation and probe. So I think the president's doing and the White House is doing the right thing now, regardless of this man's political affiliation.
No, but here's the thing. The president has spoken out plenty about Wall Street, and there are still investigations going on there. And by the way, did you notice that the Department of Justice hasn't brought a single indictment against anybody in Wall Street for what happened in the fall of late summer and fall of '08? And that's the question, too. If the president thinks there was so much bad dealing going on, then why hasn't his Department of Justice taken any concrete action? So the president doesn't hesitate to comment on all the bad guys, and in some cases, calling out specifics, but then he leaves his political buddies out of that particular commentary.
Leslie, what about the money that Corzine has donated to the Obama campaign? Apparently he bundled more than $500,000 in contributions for Obama 2012 from his friends and so on, many of whom have ties to Wall Street. And the campaign said last week they'd return the donations if he's charged with anything. Is that good enough?
Well, yes, I think it is, quite frankly, because when Mr. Corzine, for a decade of his life, was a senator and a governor, the president and other Democrats, the vice president, et cetera, backed him. But right now, Mr. Corzine is neither. Mr. Corzine is a private citizen. MF Global is a private company. And quite frankly, Lars, even Republicans on the right, when Corzine was head of Goldman Sachs, were very happy with the risks he was taking. MF Global did not have the money, did not have the experience, and Corzine had been out of the game for 10 years. It was stupid, quite frankly, and a very bad move and way too risky. But that's something he did historically when he headed up Goldman Sachs.
All right, guys, got to leave it at that. Leslie and Lars,
hey, Megan,
thanks to
I'll
both
answer
of
your
you.
question.
Quickly, because I got to go.
Thank you much.
All right, thank you. All right.
Oh, because that money buys a lot of silence.
All right, guys, thank you. We got 10 seconds.